Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege and honor to announce that today is the EOGM, which will later announce the results of the voting that was done on the 25th at 3 p.m. Without further ado, is the video on? Yeah, okay. Without further ado, may I invite Chairman SICCI to give his opening remarks.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Thank you.
Yes, we can, Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Distinguished members of SICCI, advisors, past presidents, chairman, board of directors, and members of the scrutinizing committee, a very good afternoon. Your presence at this historic EGM is greatly appreciated. I appreciate all the members who stood up to vote in an effort that will undoubtedly benefit SICCI for years to come. In the past few weeks, approximately 40% of our ordinary members, both companies and individuals, have voted for this resolution. It was to amend and approve 134 articles, 134 articles of the Constitution. Now, SICCI dates back to 1924, and much of its existing constitution was borrowed from the Singapore International Chamber of Commerce, SICC, which was formed in 1837. In June 2021, SICC amended its constitution. While we reviewed our constitutions around the same time, we did not exchange notes on the changes this time around. It has indeed been a long journey since we first began reviewing the Memorandum of Association and the Articles of Association. Mr. Chandra Mohan Nair, the former president of the Law Society, provided us with legal advice. He's a legal practitioner with Tan, Raja and Chia. We asked him to review articles and offer appropriate recommendations based on best practices. On the consultants and the expert group's amendment proposals, we deliberated with the board 3 times. We then engaged past chairmen, advisors, and ex-board members for an expert review of the suggested amendments. Members were then reached out to, and our board incorporated many of their suggestions. It is still fresh in my mind that the board had met for a marathon 4-hour meeting to finalize the changes that we brought to the board before it went for a vote. As we look towards the general body's decision, we are glad that we have arrived at this critical moment. The resolution proposes changes to the expansion of the board's representation by bringing together a larger South Asian community and the option to convene and advocate with other Singapore Indian institutions. An entire section is devoted to the disciplinary board, which includes a code of conduct for board members. Amongst others, the changes include a larger role for the panel of advisors, a single membership renewal deadline, and the reconstitution of the office bearers, which allowed for members to vote on 3 possible options. Generally, a constitutional amendment requires 75% of the vote with a minimum of 50 voters present. Given Order 2020, we have effected the provision in COVID-19 temporary measures first schedule para 5 bracket 1 6A, which allows for electronic voting in addition to printed submissions. It provides for the members to appoint the chairman of the meeting as the member's proxy by depositing with the company an instrument of appointment by such other electronic means as the company considers appropriate. I, as the chair of the meeting, am required to declare the results of the vote electronically. However, before I do that, I would like to invite the board secretary, Johnson, to read out the constitutional provision for the EGM. Thank you.
Good afternoon. May I refer to Article 40, 44, 45, 50 of the existing Constitution? Article 50 says any addition or alteration to the memorandum and articles of association shall be effected by means of a special resolution passed by not less than 25% of members present in person or by proxy at an extraordinary general meeting. Article 50, para 2 says, notwithstanding anything herein contained, any special resolution to add or amend the memorandum and articles of association shall be specifically notified to all ordinary members. And if I may add here, can you mute? In Article 40, it says at least 21 days notice of an extraordinary general meeting shall be given to all ordinary members, specifying the place, day, hour of meeting, and the general nature of business, save that specific notice shall be given of any specific special resolution to be considered. Article 50, para 3 says the quorum required at any general meeting to consider a special resolution to amend the memorandum and articles of association shall be 50 ordinary members present in person or proxy. On Article 50, 1 to 3, we have effected COVID Order 2020, which permits online or electronic voting. The COVID-19 temporary measures first schedule, paragraph 5.1, 6A, allows for electronic voting in addition to printed submissions with proxy votes submitted to the chairman of the meeting, provided the systems are in place to audit and validate the counting of votes or the ballots. Article 44. Article 44 says if within half an hour from the time appointed for the meeting, a quorum is not present, the meeting, if convened upon the requisition of members, shall be dissolved. In any other case, it shall stand adjourned to the same day in the next week at the same time and place. This is no longer relevant as we've met the quorum of 50. Article 45. Please do note that as per Constitution Article 45, if the dissented members on any resolution at any general meeting shall within 3 clear working days of the close of such a meeting send to the secretary a statement of their reasons of dissent, such statement and the names of the members dissenting or forwarding such statement shall be entered in the minutes of the meeting. Please note that this would have to be sent and addressed to the Secretariat by 1st September 2021, which is Wednesday, next Wednesday at 6 p.m., before 6 p.m. With that, I've read out the relevant constitutional amendments. May I now also introduce you to the scrutinizing committee? On chairman's right is Mr. Lawrence Peck, is the Secretary General of Singapore Manufacturing Federation. On chairman's immediate left is Mr. Supra Supaya, who's an advocate and solicitor. And in his left is Mr. Danindran, who is a senior lecturer at the Republic Polytechnic. Now, may I hand over to Chairman to invite the scrutinizing committees?
Yes. Can I now officially ask the representative of the scrutinizing committee to comment on their findings and validate the outcome?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chairman. Good afternoon, everybody. I've just been handed the results of the scrutinizing committee, and I would like to open the envelope and read out the results. Good afternoon. Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm Lawrence Peck, the Secretary General of the Singapore Manufacturing Federation. With me are two other scrutinizers, Mr. Subraya, an advocate and solicitor of Subra TT Law, LLC, and Mr. Tanendran, a lecturer at Republic Polytechnic. I would like to take this time to submit the report of the scrutinizing committee and would like to highlight at the outset that we have carried out the scrutinizing exercise yesterday to ensure that the balloting process was appropriately conducted, and the result of the ballot was compiled in our presence after thorough verification. Point A. Voting was closed on 25th August, 3 p.m. as per the notice of the AGM, and no new voters were included in the counting thereafter. Point number B. All votes recognized in the electronic system, SurveyMonkey, is in order and has not been tampered with or carries any duplicates. Point C. Names of voters have been verified and published on the website www.sicci.com/SICCI-EOGM-documents. Point D. One vote was disqualified as the information reflected was not valid, i.e., company name, membership ID, and the person's name was not in SICCI's membership list. For avoidance of doubt, the disqualified vote was in favor to approve all changes. I will now announce the detailed breakdown of the votes. The total number of eligible voters, 450. Total number voted, 185. Total number of disqualified votes, 1. Votes in favor of. Voting option 1, approve all changes. This option received a total of 138 votes, in favor of which represented 75% of the total votes cast. Voting option 2, disapprove of all changes. This option received 5 votes, which represented 2.72% of total votes cast. Voting option 3, approve with reservations. This option received 41 votes, which represented 22.28% of the total votes cast. Voters who opted for approve all changes, and for those who did not specify any reservations for Article 24(3) in the option to approve with reservations, were given 3 alternatives for Article 24(3) to be amended, the results of which are as follows. The total number of votes for this segment is 144. 5 voters submitted their votes in favor of resolution A, and 15 voters submitted their votes in favor of resolution B. And finally, 124 voters submitted their votes in favor of resolution C. Now, the breakdown of the votes. Option A, on chairman, vice chairman to be Singapore citizens, treasurer to be Singapore citizen or PR, registered 5 votes, representing 3.47% of all votes cast in this segment. Option B, on chairman is citizen, but vice chairman and treasurer to be Singapore citizen or PR, permanent resident, registered 15 votes, representing 10.42% of all votes cast in this segment. Option C, on all office bearers, chairman, vice chairman, treasurer, to be Singapore citizen, registered 124 votes, representing 86.11% of all votes cast in this segment. Point E. The results here are final and conclusive of the will of 75% of the 184 voters. I would like to invite now my other scrutineers to make any comments if they wish to. Mr. Supriya and Mr. Tanendra, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. We just like to confirm as the scrutinizing committee together that we had observed all the requirements that had to be met, and they were indeed met, and have arrived at the decisions duly and correctly. And I will not have anything else to add, but just the same, just that I mentioned. I'll hand over to Tanendra.
Just to reinstate that we looked through everything thoroughly and strictly, and we didn't leave anything for error. So we are quite confident that everything was counted and done properly. Thank you.
So without further ado, may I request Chairman of the meeting to declare the results of the votes for adoption by members. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Dear members, I hereby declare that all proposed constitutional amendments are accepted, with clause 24, bracket 3, to be amended to have all office bearers, that is chairman, 2 vice chairmen, and treasurer, to be reserved for Singaporeans only. May I invite 2 persons from the floor to propose and second their declaration as adopted in this EOGM on this day dated 27th August 2002. Mr. George.
Mr. Mustafa, seconder.
Mr. Mustafa, seconder. Thank you, gentlemen.
Expecting one offer.
Thank you, gentlemen. Now,
Can we leave?
my closing remark. Personally, I'd like to thank all voters for participating in this election process. I consider the process more significant than the election results. Thanks to Mr. Chandra Mohan Nair, Mr. George Abraham, Chairman of the Administration and the Secretariat, for ensuring that the elections were conducted in accordance with the prevailing laws and that they were conducted with integrity. The scrutinizing committee deserves gratitude as well as for its thorough effort during the vote counting and in verifying the final results were accurate. The journey is not over, as the changes will have to be rectified by ACRA. We all will agree, as the organization evolves, updating the constitution is always a challenging task. With this major milestone in the history of the Singapore Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, we have reviewed and reconfigured an age-old constitution to make it relevant to modern time. It seems impossible at first, but today you prove it possible. For the many who have voted for all the changes, you have indeed won. Regardless of the results, I believe our spirit for constantly renewing ourselves and striving for a better future must remain constant. In the aftermath of COVID-19, this is especially important for entrepreneurs. Changing the constitution is not just about written documents, but also about changing the way we think about our future. Albert Einstein once said, "The world as we know, it is the result of our thinking." It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. I must, and I'm glad we have voted for both changes. However, some of them may seem unpopular in the short run. I want to thank those who have backed me and the board, and in the words of Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, to look beyond the horizon and to right the rainbow. It is not enough to change the constitution, as we must change our thinking in order for it to work. An even tougher and more difficult task awaits us. We must not lose momentum with this change process, which we have initiated together. We would like you to participate in a number of our subcommittees. Invite yourself rather than waiting to be invited. Those who choose to contribute are most welcome to join us. Last and not least, I'm pleased to announce that ESM, Mr. Goh Chok Tong, will be hosting a fireside chat with members on 5th October 2021 at 3 p.m. More information about this will be provided shortly by the Secretariat. Mr. Lawrence Wong, Minister for Finance, will also be engaging us on a fireside chat in late October or early November. As we develop the chamber into a major network of influence in Singapore and the region, I look forward to your continued participation. I thank all of you. Johnson.
Thank you, Chairman. With that, we come to the end of the EGM. As I had mentioned earlier, if there's any dissent concerns, you may write in to the Secretariat by Wednesday, 6 p.m. We look forward to your continued participation to the events of the Chamber, and we are glad that you are here today. Thank you very much, and we will now leave the session.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, CEO, and everybody who made this possible. Thank you, everybody, for attending.
Thank you, Shobha.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. All the best. Bye-bye.
Thanks all. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Thank you. You stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you all.